In this demo, we'll explore how Marathon can streamline our CI process, especially when dealing with a large number of XCUITests. We have a project with 1,000 XCUITests that we struggle to execute on each pull request due to time constraints. Let's start our tests and see how long it would take to finish them. After 2 hours, 48 minutes of test run, 1,000 tests were executed. We see that running these tests sequentially is time-consuming, making it impractical to integrate into our CI pipeline for each pull request. With a solution from Marathon Labs, we can significantly reduce our test execution time. Let's see how to set this up. Let's start our integration by creating a new account. Marathon proposes different ways to register your account. You can either use your Google or GitHub account or create a new account using web form. Let's create a new account with email by passing legit credentials. After the registration, you will be redirected to the Cloud Panel dashboard and proposed to start your first test run. But let's take a look at other available tabs. The Users tab is responsible for maintaining users, information about them, and their roles. To add a new user, click the Add User button and pass information in the new window. Projects tab is providing statistics about active projects, platforms it uses, the last number of tests launched, average amount of runs per day and per month, and time passed since last run were triggered. Let's navigate back to Overview tab and start our first run by clicking on the Start button. After that, you would be proposed to upload test artifacts. At the drop-down menu, you can select Platform, Android or iOS, or use Auto Detect. You can choose the zip files, and also, you have the option to upload .app files instead of zip files. Let's select iOS and upload Application App and Test App. After that, click Next. After that, you will be proposed to configure your run. First of all, you can select a project. In this case, we leave it as default and move to Next options. We also can check the isolated checkmark. This will set test execution in an isolated environment. This isolation means that tests will not depend on each other and will not affect the application's state between runs. But running tests manually using a web tool and setting all these options every time takes time and effort. Gladly, Marathon has CLI and numerous CI/CD tools integration. Let's see how CLI can improve our test running experience. But before we start discovering CLI instrumentation, we should generate a token. To create token, click on the profile icon on the top right side of the page and select Tokens tab. This will redirect you to Personal Token Generation page. Set a valid name, let's say it will be Demo Team, and click Create. Pop-up with Generated Token will appear, and you should copy the token to the safe place by clocking Copy button or do it manually. After you close this pop-up, you wouldn't be able to access this token again, so make sure you copy it before. After the token was generated, we can start our integration with CLI. Let's navigate to the docs and get acquainted with the installation manual. As you see, you can set up CLI in 2 ways, by terminal or by downloading binaries for Windows, Linux, or Mac OS from the release page. The release page contains all fresh releases for binaries uploaded to the Marathon Cloud CLI GitHub repository. The repository contains an example of how to set CLI, an installation manual, usage examples, and auto-completion setup for Bash, ZSH, and Fish. Let's open the terminal and begin the CLI installation. The installation can be performed using a Homebrew package manager. You can check if you have Homebrew installed by simply executing the brew version command. If Homebrew is not installed, you should install it by following instructions from the Homebrew website. To install CLI, first of all, you need to add Marathon Labs repository using command brew tap Malinsky tap. Next, install the Marathon Cloud CLI by executing brew install Malinsky tap Marathon Cloud. And that's it. Marathon CLI was successfully installed. Let's start interaction by printing the help command. This can be achieved by adding a -h to the end of the Marathon Cloud command. Output in the terminal displays. Next options run, check supported devices, download artifacts from the previous run setup terminal auto-completions, and print help. In case of executing Marathon Cloud Run, it will print all commands that you can use with the run command. As you see, the run command allows us to select Android or iOS platforms for OutTest run. Let's run Marathon Cloud Run iOS-H and see what options we have. As we can see, Marathon CLI proposes a deep customization of your test run. Some options you may remember by Cloud Panel, such as Add Application, Test Application, Isolated Options. However, CLI also proposes some other options, such as Filter File, which supplied in YAML file. You can find schemas at Marathon Documentation website. You can set name for your run. You can set to ignore test failures or add code coverage, and provide an API key to your run, which we generated earlier in this video. We wouldn't take a lot of time diving deep into other options, and let's just create our first run. To showcase the advantages of Marathon Cloud compared to other solutions, we've prepared a sample app with 1,000 tests that should run under 15 minutes. To not bore you with coding, we already have a pre-prepared command. In provided command, we set our API key, application, and test application. All we have left is to submit our run. Our tests are finally finished, and we may see that Marathon generated some output. Marathon will print a result with the next fields: general output state, Allure report link, how many tests passed, failed, and were ignored. Most importantly, it will print billable time for this specific run. Let's navigate to the dashboard and explore how it changed. As you noticed, our dashboard updated. Now we can see our finished run, status, total duration, and cost. The test result card also allows us to restart this run, check Allure report, and download artifacts by clicking on the folder icon. Let's explore Allure reports by clicking on the page icon. Allure report is a flexible, lightweight, multi-language test reporting tool. It provides clear reports and allows everyone involved in the development process to extract the maximum of information from the everyday testing process. On the main page, we will be provided with the date and time of the test, total executed tests, and total test run execution time. As we see, the execution of 1,000 tests took 6 minutes 16 seconds, which is faster than sequential runs in Xcode. Let's explore other Allure report tabs. For example, Graphs tab, which allows us to visualize information about test runs in a simple yet effective way. We may check the graphic representation of tests' status, severity, and duration of each test. The Timeline tab not only displays how long it took to execute each test, which you may find by focusing the test on the grid, but also provides information about each simulator that was used to execute the whole run. For example, during this run, system automatically created just enough devices to fit in the 15-minute time limit. Failed tests will be marked red on the timeline grid. By clicking on it, you will be redirected to the test page where you may find all of the info about this test. You will be provided with the video, which will display what happened during the test. Additionally, you will be provided with a full test logs that you explore. The next tab, Behaviors, is one of the important ones. It shows the performance of each test, if it was retried, its status, and you can sort them by different options. For example, by clicking on Hide Status Changed After Retry Test Result, you will display only the test status which changed on Auto Test Retry. CLI is a powerful tool, but running commands manually every day is not an option if you need to run tests continuously and track changes in your app. Gladly, Marathon is easily integrated with various CI/CD tools. In this part, I will demonstrate how easily Marathon can be integrated into Jenkins' CI/CD pipeline. For the demo, we created a pipeline which run UI tests and build applications for our app. Let's take a closer look at the pipeline setup in Jenkins. This pipeline has a preset GitHub hooks for catching push or pull request events and the script. As we see, this script has many stages, but we will be focusing on the last three. The first stage builds application files for Marathon and stashes them for future usage. The second step archives our files. The last stage run UI tests, which contain the command similar to that we had in the terminal, a Marathon API key, which we generated at the Cloud panel, and our builds for testing. Let's open our pull request to the Marathon demo branch, set the title to Marathon Demo Integration, and leave the description empty. Afterward, we may just create our pull request and check that our flow was triggered. As we see, everything started successfully. Our test run finished. Same as with CLI, our 1,000 tests finished in under 15 minutes. Detailed report of which we can see on Th1e Cloud panel. By performing this demo, we wanted to demonstrate that Marathon is a powerful tool. Marathon is not only able to run large amounts of tests in under 15 minutes by utilizing advanced sharding technology, but also proposing multiple useful features for QA teams, such as automatic retries, customizable test runs, Allure report, and easy integration with the CLI and CI/CD tools, such as GitHub Actions, Jenkins, and many more. Thank you for watching. If you want to know more, you can contact our team or visit our website to explore Marathon by yourself.